Hey there, history buffs! Today we're diving deep into two of the most influential global conflicts in human history, World War I and World War II. Buckle up, because this is going to be one wild ride. From the sparks that ignited the fires of war to the major battles and breakthroughs, we're going to unpack the events that forever reshaped our world. We'll delve into the intricate web of alliances and rivalries that set the stage for the Great War, and later, the deadliest conflict humanity has ever witnessed, World War II. We'll also explore the far-reaching consequences of these wars, from the heart-wrenching human losses to the significant political and technological changes they spurred. So, if you're ready to immerse yourself in the captivating stories behind World War I and World War II, hit that subscribe button and join us on this epic journey through history. Trust me, this is an adventure you don't want to miss. We'll start by exploring the causes that led to the outbreak of World War I. Now, if you think of this war as a powder keg, the spark that lit the fuse was undoubtedly the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria by a Serbian nationalist in June of 1914. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. The roots of the conflict run much deeper. Let's rewind a bit and take a look at Europe in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Europe was a hotbed of imperialistic ambitions, as powerful nations sought to expand their territories and influence. This led to a competitive environment, with nations racing to outdo each other in terms of military might, economic prowess, and colonial conquests. The situation was further complicated by a complex web of alliances formed among nations. These alliances, designed to maintain a balance of power, ironically ended up dividing Europe into two major blocs: the Central Powers, consisting of Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy, and the Allies, primarily France, Russia, and the United Kingdom. Now throw in some intense nationalism into the mix. Nations were not just content with self-governance, but also harbored aspirations of dominance, further fueling the tensions. In the Balkans, the situation was particularly volatile, with various ethnic groups vying for independence or territorial gains. Amidst this backdrop of escalating tensions and rivalries, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand served as the catalyst that set the wheels of war in motion. Austria-Hungary's retaliation against Serbia triggered a domino effect, with one nation after another being drawn into the conflict due to their alliance commitments. So, you see, the causes of World War I were a complex blend of factors, including imperialistic ambitions, a web of alliances, escalating nationalism, and political rivalries. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand was merely the spark that ignited the already volatile situation. Feel the tension rise as countries declare war on each other and our world is plunged into chaos. Through a captivating narrated timeline, we'll walk you through the major battles, breakthrough innovations in warfare, and the brave soldiers who fought for their nations. World War I, also known as the Great War, spanned 4 years from 1914 to 1918. It was an era marked by unprecedented warfare strategies and technological advancements. The war's major events were spread across various fronts, each with its own unique narrative. The Western Front, a line stretching from the Swiss border to the North Sea, witnessed the infamous Battle of the Marne. In September 1914, the Allies halted the German advance into France here, marking the first major turning point of the war. This battle also marked the beginning of trench warfare, a grim symbol of World War I. Meanwhile, on the Eastern Front, the Battle of Tannenberg, in August 1914, saw the German forces decimate the Russian Second Army, altering the course of the war in the East. The war wasn't just fought on land. The naval battle of Jutland in May 1916 was one of the most significant maritime conflicts, involving around 250 ships and 100,000 men. Despite the heavy losses on both sides, the battle ended inconclusively, with both Britain and Germany claiming victory. The Great War also ushered in new warfare technologies. Tanks introduced by the British at the Battle of the Somme, and aircraft used for reconnaissance and later for combat, revolutionized warfare. Chemical weapons, particularly poisonous gas, were another chilling innovation of this war. And let's not forget the human element. Millions of soldiers from all corners of the globe fought bravely in horrendous conditions. Their courage, resilience, and sacrifice are an integral part of this historical narrative. As we close this chapter, remember that World War I was more than just a series of battles and technological advancements. It was a testament to the unimaginable horrors of war and the indomitable human spirit that shaped the course of history. In our next chapter, we'll delve into the causes of World War II, a conflict that would once again engulf the world in flames. But the story doesn't end there. As the world slowly rebuilds, another catastrophe looms on the horizon: World War II. The seeds of the second great global conflict were sown in the ashes of the first. The harsh penalties imposed by the Treaty of Versailles left Germany economically devastated. A sense of national humiliation and resentment simmered, creating a fertile ground for the rise of Adolf Hitler and his National Socialist German Workers' Party, better known as the Nazi Party. Hitler's aggressive expansionism was a key driver behind the outbreak of World War II. He capitalized on the economic hardships and social unrest, promising to restore Germany to its former glory. His policies of territorial expansion and racial purity struck a chord with many Germans, who were desperate for change. But Hitler's ambitions extended far beyond Germany's borders. He looked to the east, towards Poland and the Soviet Union, envisioning a vast German empire. Meanwhile, in Asia, Japan was also pursuing its own imperialistic ambitions. The invasion of China in 1937 was Japan's attempt to establish dominance in East Asia, and it marked the beginning of the Asian theater of World War II. These aggressive actions were met with appeasement rather than resistance. The major powers, still scarred by the horrors of World War I, were reluctant to engage in another conflict. This policy of appeasement, however, only emboldened Hitler and his fascist allies, Italy and Japan. On top of this, the world was also grappling with ideological clashes. The rise of fascism and its opposition to communism and democracy set the stage for a global conflict. The world was divided, with countries aligning themselves based on their political ideologies. Discover how the unresolved issues from the First World War, combined with aggressive expansionism and political ideologies, ultimately led to the deadliest conflict humanity has ever witnessed. The stage was set for a conflict on a scale never seen before, a conflict that would change the face of our world forever. Join us as we explore the rise of fascist powers, the shocking invasions, heart-wrenching tales from the battlefront, and the unfathomable sacrifices made by countless individuals in the name of freedom. World War II, a cataclysmic event that spanned from 1939 to 1945, was a time of great turmoil and heroism. The rise of fascist powers, particularly Nazi Germany under Adolf Hitler and Imperial Japan, set the stage for a conflict of unprecedented scale. The war began with Germany's unprovoked invasion of Poland, a blatant violation of international law. This was swiftly followed by the fall of Norway, Denmark, Belgium, the Netherlands, and France, leaving Britain standing alone against the Nazi onslaught. Meanwhile, in the East, Japan's imperial ambitions were leading to escalating tensions with the United States. 1941 was a pivotal year, marked by Germany's ill-fated invasion of the Soviet Union and the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, which finally drew the United States into the war. The tide began to turn in favor of the Allies, with significant victories at Stalingrad and the Battle of the Coral Sea. However, the war was far from over. The following years saw the brutal reality of total war, with battles raging across North Africa, Europe, and the Pacific. The Normandy landings, or D-Day, marked the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany as Allied forces began their relentless push towards Berlin. The war in the Pacific was equally fierce, culminating in the bloody Battle of Okinawa. The final act of this global conflict was the dropping of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki by the United States, a chilling demonstration of the destructive power of nuclear weapons. World War II was a time of immense courage and sacrifice, as millions fought for freedom against the forces of tyranny. The war brought out the best and worst of humanity, forever changing the course of history. Witness the courage of those who fought, the pivotal moments that turned the tide, and the dramatic conclusion that reshaped the world forever. But the impact of these global conflicts extends far beyond the battlefield. The world wars didn't just change the map of the world. They transformed society, technology, and geopolitics in ways that still resonate today. The ashes of devastation gave birth to a new world order and set the stage for the Cold War, while the technological innovations developed during the wars forever revolutionized industry, medicine, and warfare. Society was forever altered as well. Women, having stepped up to fill roles vacated by men at war, began to demand equality. The horrors of the Holocaust sparked a global commitment to human rights, leading to the creation of the United Nations. And while the world wars were a showcase of our capacity for destruction, they also highlighted our ability to rebuild, to innovate, and to strive for a better world. So, if you're ready to explore how these epic conflicts shaped our world, stay with us on this journey through history. Trust me, this is an adventure you don't want to miss.